Aho. So, first of all, I just want to point out all the white roses behind me. Um, I was driving around trying to find a spot to do this recording, and I just came across this amazing bush of white roses. And if you guys have been following my messages, then you know that the white roses are definitely a symbol and sign of spirit, community, love. Um, So I was like, of course, I have to do this recording here. um, but I wanted to really just connect with you guys. It's been a few weeks since the last message, and there's been not a whole lot of new messages coming in, but some important reminders that Spirit wants me to just continue to bring to your awareness, because it's important to just keep that in the in our forefront of our minds as we navigate through these times. The last message I spoke about, I basically said that from that point on, things were going to snowball. And I have also said in the past that they were not going to go silently. They were going to try to cause as much destruction as possible before it being taken down. And unfortunately, as you guys have seen, that devastating situation over at Afghan um, transpired after that message that the last message I delivered. And it's just really, gosh, it's when I saw and heard that, I just knew, that that's them doing exactly what I said that they're going to be doing. And there's obviously, I'm speaking in intuitively and from the messages that I receive. So I have to be careful on what I say. But my belief is that that was obviously not, it was intentional. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm not going to speak too much into the details of what I think, because, again, I have to be cautious. But I feel that that is part of what Spirit's been saying, is that they're going to purposely cause chaos and cause for humanity to have to really work hard at coming back from all the devastation that they are going to continue to cause on humanity. And the good thing is, because I also want to bring light and hope into these messages, is that because they are so blatantly doing these things, more people are starting to pay attention, and more people are starting to question things and not follow so blindly as to what they're told. And instead, they're starting to realize, like, well, if they were able to do that, what else are they doing? What else are they saying that they're doing and not really doing, or just really lying about? So, unfortunately, it is through devastation that people are starting to pay attention and become more consciously aware of what's happening. And with that in mind, this is what Spirit is saying, that it has unfortunately taken all this to happen in order for people to start really being conscious again. And so the work is not done. And in this message I want to bring forward is that Spirit is saying, because there are still some people that, I guess, they're going into this denial, and they are having a hard time with accepting. They're making all these reasons and excuses and just blatantly not wanting to see the reality of what's happening, that we do still have more work to do. However, there's also the aspect of that there's just some people that will never see it. And I said this before in a message, but I think it's important for you guys to hear it again, because what I'm hearing and what I know from what Spirit's telling me is that there are people that are already pretty much have made their choice, whether it's subconsciously or consciously. I don't know. I'm not clear. I just know that they've chosen um, their destiny, because either they chose not to listen to like the reality or the evidence or the messages that people kept trying to have them listen to, and it was either too much for them, or it was just within their contract before they came in, that they chose to, for example, when there was plenty of other options or evidence for them to know that the jabs were not safe, they still went ahead and took them. So that's what I'm saying. They chose their destiny, um, and still, people are still continuing to. And I think it is because it's so overwhelming to them, and it's easier for them to just check out of what's happening, and they're choosing not to believe that that could be possible. Um, so yeah, it, it's really hard to see all this happening. But again, those of us who have been doing as much as we can to help or guide those that didn't have that awareness, what Spirit is saying is that it is time for us to start really letting go of I guess really letting go, surrendering to that is their choice. That was their choice, and that from this point forward, we're gonna really just start seeing now, and I hate to say it this way, but we're gonna really start seeing the damage now. And what that means is the people are really gonna start having the side effects now. People are gonna start crossing over, and it's gonna happen gradually, but it's going to start happening because there's been enough time that has gone by, and more people are starting to now experience the devastation from it, from their choices. Um, with that in mind, it's not going to be everyone. Okay, so if you're somebody that's watching this, because unfortunately, I have already had some of you that have taken it and then message me and say, oh my God, I took it. What am I going to do? What do I need to do? And so these messages are not to bring fear. It's to bring awareness, to bring guidance. Although I know that, because if you're on the, if you're on the side of, you made that choice, this can potentially be very devastating and frightening. And so I want to just, first of all, say, this is not what my intention is for this message. But I feel it is important to address and talk about what is happening and how to get through this. So that's my purpose, is to really guide humanity through these hard, difficult times. So what I was saying is that, as I said before, not everyone's going to be affected by it, because, and I had explained it this way before, it's like Russian roulette. There were some shots that are really, really bad, and then there were some that aren't. And I had gotten asked, or not even asked, it was a comment that somebody who has taken it pretty much told me, this is all not true what you're saying, because I myself and my family got it. It's been about 5 months and I'm perfectly fine. And I'm really happy that they're fine. But that just really all that says is that they were protected, one, and so they got one that doesn't have all that stuff in it, because again, there's some that are bad and some that are not, and or that they just haven't started feeling the side effects, because some are going to be very immediate and some are going to be 6 months later, and then others 2 years later. So it's a gradual decline of health. And I'm just hoping that the majority receive the ones that are not going to be harmful to them. So anyways, the message is continue to work on yourself, but also then know that it's time to surrender, because at this point the damage has occurred and there is a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, which I have talked about before as well, that for those of us who are fighting the good fight and are very exhausted, really need to see some kind of light, need to see this be turned around and really just finished. You need to know that we're almost there, and I'm gonna share a couple of links below for you to watch and listen to these other messages and videos that will give you insight and direction and hope, because I think that it's important that we know that we are gaining in our fight for freedom and for humanity, for love, for compassion. We are gaining. We're not just doing this for no reason. It's not in vain. So hang in there, continue moving forward, and continue your prayers. Always continue your prayers, because that is what has helped us tremendously. And build your community. Build your community is very important, because, as I've said, moving forward is probably going to take a village to come together and really help each other out during times that are hopefully not going to be difficult for a very long time, but they may be a little challenging. And so if you haven't already found that community, start looking. I personally started a drumming circle, and there's going to be a lot more to it than just a drumming circle. So if you're interested in that, I'll also leave a link at the bottom so you can join us whenever you can. My brain's a little scattered. I've been really, really busy, still working hard. I completed this fast today. That's been going on for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months now. And so I completed that one today, but the prayers will always continue. And yeah, I think that's all for now. So I love you guys. Hang in there, and I'll continue connecting with you guys. Aho.